One of the most common words you would come across in music business is publishing. Well, as common as this word is, a lot of people neither know the meaning nor how to approach publishing conversations. Hi, this is Uncle James Corner, and you are welcome. Now back to business. This subject can be a little confusing, but I will try as much as possible to keep it simple. Every recorded piece of music has two copyrights. The first is sound recording copyright, and the second is composition copyright. I'm sure you have heard about master rights or masters. Great. Master right, as you know it, falls under the sound recording copyright, while publishing falls under the composition copyright. For clarity, there is sound recording copyright, which is known as master right, and there is composition copyright, which is known as publishing right. We will discuss these two in detail in our music copyright lesson, but today our focus is on composition copyright, aka publishing right. When you own publishing rights to any music, you are entitled to publishing royalty. There are three types of publishing royalties, and they are mechanical royalties, performance royalties, and synchronization royalties. Mechanical royalties are earned when the music is reproduced and commercially distributed in physical or digital formats. Physical formats are CDs, vinyls, cassettes, and digital formats refer to internet streams and downloads. Performance royalties are earned when the music is performed in public places. Examples are when it is played on radio, when it is played in a club, when it is performed live on stage, and scenarios like that. Synchronization royalties are earned when the music is added to a visual content. For example, if your song is used in a movie, a TV commercial, or even a comedy skit, you are entitled to synchronization royalties. Some people shorten it to sync. So when you hear sync royalties, they are referring to synchronization royalties. How do you acquire composition or publishing rights? To put it simply, there are two elements that make up what we know as composition, and those elements are lyrics and melodies. Let me say that again: lyrics and melodies. The right you acquire for contributing to the whole or a part of either the lyrics or the melodies of any music is known as publishing rights. Therefore, a composer here can be an artist, it can be a songwriter, it can be a producer, it can even be a friend who accompanied you to the studio but made a contribution to either your lyrics or your melodies. There are other elements that make up or contribute to the entire structure or framework of any music. Nonetheless, these elements on their own cannot be copyrighted and therefore cannot earn you right to publishing. Some of these elements are beat pattern, chord progression, rhythm, harmony, arrangement, and other stuff like that. If you made contribution in the music that does not involve either the lyrics or melodies, you might be entitled to monetary compensation depending on your level of involvement and your agreement with the owner of the music, but might not be entitled to publishing royalties. Publishing splits sum up to 100%. For example, if there are five composers in a musical piece, they can either share equally and get 20% each, or share it according to each person's contribution. But the total of all the shares must not be below or exceed 100. Splits that do not sum up to 100% are considered invalid. How is publishing split determined? You see, there is no hard and fast rule about this. Don't believe anyone that tells you it is split in the middle 50-50 between songwriter and producer or between songwriter and anyone else. This is not true. Like I mentioned, publishing covers lyrics and melodies, and anyone who makes contribution to either of these deserves a portion of the split. You can either split equally or you can split according to each person's contribution. But here is my recommendation. If there is a major contributor, let the person have bigger share than the other contributors. If the contributions are fairly equal, split the rights equally. In all, this is left for you to decide what works for you. But always remember this: be fair to everyone. When is the best time to decide publishing splits? You see, this one is a very, very important question. A lot of people will tell you that the best time to sign split sheets is immediately after the studio recording. But I totally object to this. In my 15 years of active studio engineering, I have never come across anyone talking about splits before, during, or immediately after a recording session. If we are being truthful, conversations like this will ruin the happy mood that follows studio sessions. Nobody wants to be a spoiler, especially you. Also, oftentimes, we only come out with a demo recording that will require extra writing and maybe production. Finalizing the publishing split at this point will be inappropriate since the work is not totally done and there might be extra contribution from other parties, right? But I will say this: once you are satisfied with the audio and convinced that it will not require any extra work, go ahead and discuss the splits with all contributors. It doesn't matter whether or not you are ready to release the music at that point. As a side note, I would like to add this. If you're a producer and you're watching this video, draw your seat closer. This is for you. Also, if you have a producer friend, you need to share this video with them. What I'm about to share with you is mostly known to people who handle back-end music distribution and supply chain roles, which is something I've been doing for the past 4 years. When creating musical works, publishing rights are not assigned to producers. In other words, if a producer must earn publishing royalties, it is important that the producer is also credited as a composer. So even though you have signed split sheets, insist on getting credited as a composer. This makes it easy for your publishing administrator to claim your royalties without hassle. Who collects publishing royalties? The simple answer is publisher. My next question then is, who is a publisher? If you own publishing rights to any music, you are a publisher. So here's another important question. Since you are the publisher, how do you collect your publishing royalties? I would use this example. You know, the same way you have rights to music, but then you give it to a distributor and assign them the rights to distribute the music on your behalf. You can do similar thing with publishing. You can transfer your publishing rights to either a publishing company or a publishing administration company who will administer the rights on your behalf for either a fee or a percentage of your publishing royalties or both. What about PROs like ASCAP, BMI, CSAC? What do they exactly do? PRO means Performance Rights Organization. There are lots of them across different territories of the world. They collect royalties on your behalf for public performance of your song in their territory. And remember, we mentioned that publishing royalties are of three kinds: mechanical royalties, performance royalties, and synchronization royalties. And PROs only focus on performance royalties, which means that you will still need somebody to help you collect the mechanical and synchronization royalties. Therefore, it's important that you get on board with either a publishing company, like I mentioned before, or a publishing administration company. These ones have affiliations with lots of PROs and DSPs and can collect your publishing royalties from all over the world. Which one is the best publishing company to use? Well, I am currently helping composers with onboarding and collection of their publishing royalties. I did a little research and found out that lots of artists and producers have accumulated publishing royalties that they are not even aware of. So I have made it a point of duty to assist as many composers as possible to make some money this year. Just leave me a message and we will take it from there. So here are my final words. Everyone who contributes to your music deserves compensation. If you're not paying them off completely, which is also an option, do not deny them the rights to royalties. And also ensure that they are credited properly for their contributions. There are lots of releases out there without producer and songwriter credits, except in situations where it was agreed beforehand. This is totally unacceptable. Thank you for watching this video. I would love to connect with you. So do well to follow me on socials. Also, if you have any questions, you have any comments, let me see them, drop them. Don't forget to like, to share this video, and to leave a comment.